every single day, before you step out into the noise of the world, before you scroll through your phone or answer anyone's demands, take a breath and tell yourself 10 things that will shape the way you live. The mind is like a garden. Whatever you plant first will grow the strongest. So plant these words with intention, with belief, and with power. First, tell yourself, I am enough. You don't need to prove your worth to anyone. You don't need to earn permission to be yourself. You are not behind in life. You are exactly where you are supposed to be. Every scar, every failure, every victory has built the person standing here today. You are not lacking. You are learning. And that is more than enough. Chapter 1. Every day is a blank page waiting for you to write your story upon it, and the first words you speak to yourself are the ink that sets the tone for everything that follows. The thoughts you plant in your mind each morning will either empower you or drain you, lift you or limit you. The way you talk to yourself becomes the rhythm of your life. It shapes how you walk into the world, how you treat others, and how you handle the challenges that come your way. So before you look at your phone, before you rush into the noise and demands of the day, pause, breathe, and remember that your words hold power. Tell yourself what you need to hear, not what the world has taught you to fear. You are not at war with yourself, you are building yourself. Each new sunrise gives you another chance to begin again, to speak words that nourish instead of destroy, to replace doubt with faith, and to remind yourself of who you truly are beneath the noise, the fear, and the expectations. The mind listens to everything you tell it, so be careful what you repeat. If you keep feeding it thoughts of worry, insecurity, or regret, it will begin to believe those are the only truths that exist. But if you feed it hope, gratitude, and confidence, it will bloom into something unstoppable. This is the essence of self-mastery, learning to become the guardian of your inner voice, the caretaker of your own mental garden. The world outside may be chaotic, but your inner world is yours to control. The greatest leaders, thinkers, and dreamers of all time understood this one secret: what you believe becomes what you create. When you start the day with empowering thoughts, your energy shifts, your perspective widens, and your confidence grows naturally. You stop reacting to life, and instead, you start creating it. You begin to see challenges as opportunities instead of threats, lessons instead of failures. You begin to realize that peace is not found in the absence of problems, but in the presence of calm within them. Telling yourself the right things each morning is not about pretending everything is perfect. It's about giving yourself the mental strength to handle life as it comes. You are not denying reality, you are defining your response to it. You are setting the tone for your emotions, your choices, and your direction. When you remind yourself daily that you are enough, that you are capable, and that today matters, something inside you awakens. A quiet but powerful force that moves you forward. Your words become the fuel for your actions, and your actions build the future you want to live in. Remember, the mind does not argue, it accepts. So whatever you tell it, it begins to make true. If you keep saying, I can't, your subconscious will find reasons to prove it right. But if you say, I will, your entire being begins to align with that belief. That's the real magic of self-talk. It's not just motivation, it's transformation. It's the invisible practice that changes the visible world. You become your own coach, your own healer, your own motivator. You begin to rely less on external validation and more on internal conviction. The moment you take control of your inner dialogue, you take control of your destiny. Life will always bring uncertainty, but you don't have to let uncertainty rule you. You can choose your mindset before the day begins, just as a warrior sharpens his sword before battle. Your words are your weapon and your shield. They can cut through fear, break old patterns, and open doors that once seemed locked. Each morning, remind yourself that you are alive for a purpose, that you have power in your choices, and that today is not just another routine. It's an opportunity to move closer to the best version of yourself. Speak to your heart with truth and compassion, not criticism and doubt, because the relationship you build with yourself is the foundation for every other relationship you'll ever have. When you learn to speak with kindness to your reflection, you stop seeking acceptance from places that were never meant to give it. You find a peace that doesn't depend on praise. So let this be the start of your new morning ritual, not one built on noise and distraction, but one grounded in awareness and gratitude. You are the author of your thoughts, and your thoughts become your life. Each morning, before the world begins to tell you who you should be, take a moment to remind yourself who you already are. A work in progress, yes, but also a masterpiece in motion, a soul with purpose, strength, and infinite potential. Tell yourself this truth every day and watch how your world begins to change. To tell yourself, I am enough. These 3 simple words carry the power to rewrite the story of your life. In a world that constantly tells you that you must do more, have more, and be more, it takes great strength to simply believe that you are already complete. You are not missing anything, you are not behind anyone, you are not less than anyone. You have been shaped by every moment you've lived, every tear, every smile, every risk, every failure, every lesson, and those experiences have built a depth within you that perfection could never achieve. Being enough is not about being flawless or finished. It's about accepting that your worth is not something you earn, but something you already possess. You were born worthy, and no mistake, failure, or opinion can take that from you. Too often, people measure their value through comparisons, chasing approval from others who are too busy chasing their own. You scroll through the lives of others and feel smaller, but what you forget is that no one shows the full picture. Everyone has their battles, their doubts, their sleepless nights. You see their highlight reel, not their hidden pain. When you constantly compare your behind the scenes to someone else's best moments, you lose sight of your own beauty. You are not supposed to be anyone else. You are supposed to be you. With your voice, your quirks, your imperfections, and your light. The idea of enough is not a limit, it's freedom. It means you no longer have to beg for validation. It means you no longer have to perform for acceptance. It means you can rest in the truth that who you are right now, in this very breath, is worthy of love, peace, and respect. You are allowed to grow and still appreciate where you are. You are allowed to want more while still feeling grateful for what you already have. The balance between ambition and acceptance is the sweet spot of peace. When you know you are enough, you stop over-explaining yourself. You stop apologizing for taking up space. You stop doubting your right to dream big. You begin to walk into rooms with quiet confidence, not because you think you are better, but because you finally understand your own value. There is a calm that comes with self-acceptance, a silence that replaces the need to prove. You no longer rush to convince others of your worth, because you have already convinced yourself. This belief, I am enough, is not arrogance. It's awareness. It's the recognition that your flaws don't make you unworthy. They make you human. You are not meant to fit perfectly into the world's impossible standards. You are meant to stand out, to shine differently, to create your own rhythm in a noisy world. When you look into the mirror, don't search for perfection, search for truth. See the resilience in your eyes, the stories your scars tell, and the strength that has carried you through every moment of doubt. Every time you fell, you got back up. That's enough. Every time you showed kindness when it wasn't easy. That's enough. Every time you kept going when you felt like giving up. That's enough. You have already proven yourself in ways the world may never see. So stop chasing approval from those who can't see your depth. The right people, the right opportunities, the right moments. They will come to you when you stop pretending to be someone you're not. The truth is, peace begins the moment you stop needing to be more and start embracing who you already are. That's when life starts to feel lighter. You begin to live with authenticity instead of performance, presence instead of pressure. You learn to rest in your own company, to speak to yourself with kindness instead of criticism, and to love yourself the way you've always wanted others to love you. This doesn't mean you stop improving. It means you improve from a place of love, not lack. You grow not because you think you're broken, but because you know you're worth evolving. Every day you remind yourself that you are enough. You build a foundation of self-belief so strong that no rejection can shake it, no failure can define it, and no criticism can destroy it. You will begin to move through the world differently, softer, but stronger, humbler, but more certain, peaceful, but powerful. You will realize that your worth is not tied to your productivity, your popularity, or your possessions. It's tied to your existence, your effort, your essence. You are enough, not because of what you do, but because of who you are. And that truth will never change. So when the world tries to make you doubt yourself, close your eyes and breathe. Remind yourself that you are enough, always have been, always will be, and in that truth you will find freedom, purpose, and peace. Chapter 3. Tell yourself, I am in control of my attitude. The world will test you, challenge you, frustrate you, and sometimes break your heart. But no matter what happens around you, there is one thing no one can take away: your power to choose how you respond. Life is unpredictable, and people are imperfect. You cannot control the weather, the traffic, the opinions of others, or the circumstances you wake up in, but you can control your thoughts, your reactions, and your focus. The difference between peace and chaos often lies not in the situation itself, but in how you perceive and handle it. Your attitude is your personal compass. It directs how you experience the world. A positive attitude won't make every problem disappear, but it will change how you face them. It will help you find strength in struggle, hope in hardship, and lessons in loss. Each day presents you with countless opportunities to react. When someone speaks harshly, when plans fall apart, when you face delay or disappointment. And in those moments, you have two choices. You can let negativity take over, or you can pause, breathe, and respond with calmness and clarity. The truth is, your reaction determines your reality. If you allow anger or bitterness to control you, you lose your power. But when you choose patience, understanding, and self-control, you gain mastery over yourself. It's not weakness to remain calm when others are chaotic. It's wisdom. The calm person is not detached from life. They are deeply connected to their inner peace. When you tell yourself, I am in control of my attitude, you remind your heart that peace is an inside job. You begin to understand that happiness is not found in perfect circumstances, but in a steady mindset. There will always be people who test your limits, who misunderstand your intentions, who gossip, criticize, or complain. But their behavior is a reflection of them, not you. Don't hand them the keys to your emotions. Protect your peace like it's sacred, because it is. Every time you react in anger, you hand over a piece of your power. Every time you respond with grace, you reclaim it. Life will never be free of challenges, but your perspective can turn obstacles into opportunities. When something goes wrong, instead of saying, "Why me?" try saying, "What is this trying to teach me?" That single shift in attitude can transform frustration into growth. You start to see that even the worst days are preparing you for the best ones. The storms of life can bend you, but they don't have to break you. The way you think determines how you feel, and how you feel determines how you act. That's why controlling your attitude is not just about staying positive. It's about staying powerful. It's about refusing to be a victim of circumstance. It's about realizing that your emotions are meant to serve you, not rule you. You are not your anger, your stress, or your disappointment. Those are passing clouds, but your awareness is the sky that holds them. Learn to observe your emotions without being consumed by them. When someone hurts you, don't give them the satisfaction of stealing your peace. When life throws challenges your way, don't let fear dictate your response. Stand firm, breathe deeply, and remind yourself that your strength lies in your composure. This doesn't mean you suppress your feelings, it means you choose not to be led by them. Feel deeply but respond wisely. Speak with intention, not impulse. The greatest strength you can ever develop is emotional discipline, the ability to stay centered when everything around you is falling apart. Each time you choose calmness over chaos, you train your mind to be stronger than your circumstances. You begin to notice that life doesn't control you. Your mindset does. A good attitude attracts good energy, just as a negative one attracts negativity. The energy you give is the energy you live in. When you approach each day with gratitude instead of complaint, optimism instead of despair, courage instead of fear, you begin to transform not just your mood, but your entire life. People will notice your calmness and wonder where it comes from, but it will come from the quiet understanding that you are in charge of your emotions, not the world around you. You can't stop the waves, but you can learn to surf them. So the next time something doesn't go your way, pause and remind yourself, I control how I respond. I control how I think. I control my attitude. That mindset is your greatest power. It will carry you through chaos and help you find beauty even in broken moments. Because attitude is not about pretending everything is fine. It's about believing that even when things aren't fine, you will be. You are the master of your inner world, and when you master that, no storm can shake you. Chapter 4. Tell yourself, I am grateful. Gratitude is the quiet miracle that can transform an ordinary day into a sacred experience, a heavy heart into a hopeful one, and a restless mind into a peaceful soul. It is not about having everything you want, it is about recognizing the value of what you already have. The practice of gratitude turns what you possess into enough, and what you experience into a lesson. When you begin to live with gratitude, you start to see beauty in the smallest details, the warmth of sunlight on your skin, the sound of laughter, the taste of food, the presence of people who care, the gift of another morning to try again. Gratitude opens your eyes to the blessings that have always surrounded you, but were once hidden behind complaints and comparisons. Life is not perfect, and it never will be, but there is always something to be thankful for, even in the middle of hardship. When you lose something or someone, gratitude reminds you of what they taught you, of the love you shared, of the moments that mattered. When challenges come, gratitude shifts your focus from frustration to faith, from fear to understanding. It helps you say, this moment is difficult, but I can still learn, still breathe, still move forward. The most peaceful people are not those who have everything going right, but those who have learned to see something right even when things go wrong. Gratitude doesn't ignore pain, it transforms it. It softens anger, it calms anxiety, and it gives strength in uncertainty. It reminds you that every single breath you take is a gift that someone else wishes they had. When you live in gratitude, you stop rushing through life as if it's a race and start moving through it as if it's a blessing. You stop asking, what's missing, and start asking, what's here? That one question changes everything, because happiness is not something you find when life gets easier. It's something you create when your perspective gets deeper. Gratitude makes you rich without needing money, loved without needing validation, and strong without needing control. It's the bridge between chaos and calm, between despair and hope. When you start your morning with, thank you, your mind shifts into alignment with abundance. You begin to attract more reasons to be thankful because your heart is open to seeing them. The truth is, you can't always control what happens to you, but you can control how you perceive it. Gratitude gives you the power to rewrite every experience, even the painful ones, into something meaningful. The breakup that broke you taught you about love and self-worth. The failure that humiliated you prepared you for growth. The delay that frustrated you protected you from something not meant for you. Gratitude turns every event into a teacher and every struggle into a stepping stone. The more thankful you are, the less you feel trapped by circumstance, because you realize that even in loss, you've gained wisdom, even in darkness. You've discovered your own light. It's easy to be thankful when everything is going right, but true gratitude is tested when life feels unfair. That's when gratitude becomes a choice, a discipline, and a form of courage. To say thank you, even in tears, is to declare that pain will not define you, that you can still see beauty despite the storm. When you live in this state of appreciation, you stop chasing happiness. You start creating it. You stop waiting for the perfect moment to feel joy, because you understand that joy is already present in the imperfections. Gratitude teaches you to honor the process, to respect the timing of your life, and to trust that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. Even the moments of waiting have value because they teach patience and humility. When you begin to thank life instead of blaming it, everything starts to shift. People notice your calmness, your lightness, your quiet confidence. You become more compassionate because you realize how much you've been given, and that awareness makes you want to give back. Gratitude softens your edges, connects you to others, and fills your life with meaning. Every night before you sleep, take a moment to reflect on 3 things that went right, not because everything was perfect, but because there was still something good in your day. It could be a smile, a lesson, a small act of kindness, or even just the strength to make it through. Over time, this simple act rewires your mind to focus on abundance rather than lack. Gratitude is not just a feeling, it is a lifestyle, a way of seeing. It is saying, even though I don't have everything I want, I am thankful for everything I have. And that simple truth will free you. Because once you learn to be grateful in every situation, you realize that you already have everything you need to live a beautiful, peaceful, and fulfilling life. Chapter 5. Tell yourself, I am capable of doing hard things. Life was never meant to be easy, it was meant to be meaningful. Every challenge you face is not there to break you but to build you. Hard things teach you who you really are, what you're made of, and what matters most. When everything feels heavy, when the path seems uphill, and when you begin to doubt your strength, remind yourself of all the times you thought you couldn't make it. And yet you did. You've survived heartbreaks, disappointments, losses, and failures. You've walked through darkness and found a way to keep moving. That strength didn't come from comfort, it was born in struggle. Growth doesn't happen in the easy moments. It happens when you're forced to stretch beyond what's familiar. Doing hard things means trusting yourself even when you're scared, showing up even when you're tired, and continuing forward even when success seems far away. Every time you choose to push through difficulty instead of running from it, you rewrite your story from one of fear to one of courage. Hard things are not punishments, they are invitations. They call you to rise higher, to expand your capacity, and to prove to yourself that you can handle more than you ever imagined. The mountain in front of you is not there to stop you, it's there to teach you how to climb. Every step you take, no matter how small, strengthens your spirit. Every obstacle faced with courage becomes a part of your inner foundation. You are not weak because you struggle. You are human. You are not failing because it's hard. You are growing because it's hard. Strength is not built when everything goes right. It's built when you keep moving forward through everything that's wrong. The truth is, hard things often disguise themselves as pain but later reveal themselves as purpose. The challenges you're facing today might be the very experiences that prepare you for tomorrow's opportunity. You can't always see it now, but someday you'll look back and realize that the struggle was shaping you into someone stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. Remember, diamonds are formed under pressure, and muscles grow through resistance. So when life presses on you, when you feel the weight of the world on your shoulders, don't give up. Push back. Every bit of pressure is molding you into something powerful. When you face fear, don't run from it, walk through it. Fear is not a wall, it's a doorway, and courage is what opens it. Doing hard things means standing firm in the face of uncertainty, knowing that comfort zones are prisons that disguise themselves as safety. You'll never discover your true strength if you always stay where it's easy. Every time you choose to confront discomfort, you grow beyond the limits your mind once set. You learn that failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of the process. You learn that falling down is not the end. It's the beginning of resilience. When you face something difficult, tell yourself, I've done hard things before and I can do this too. That reminder builds confidence. You are not fragile, you are forged by fire. You have endured sleepless nights, silent tears, and moments when you thought you couldn't go on, and yet you did. That is proof of your capability. Doing hard things also means being patient with yourself. Progress is not instant. Growth is not glamorous. There will be days when you doubt yourself, days when you feel lost, days when you wonder if it's even worth it. But even in those moments, you are still moving forward, still learning, still building the strength that will carry you into your next season. Remember, no storm lasts forever. The sun always returns, and when it does, you'll realize how much stronger you've become. Hard things give life meaning. They teach empathy, humility, and gratitude. When you've struggled, you understand others more deeply. When you've fallen, you learn compassion for those still on the ground. When you've overcome, you learn the beauty of perseverance. So don't resent the hard moments, respect them. They are the chapters of your story that will inspire others someday. Every hardship is proof that you were brave enough to try, bold enough to care, and strong enough to continue. You are capable of doing hard things because strength lives within you. It's not something you have to find. It's something you have to remember. It's already there, waiting for you to call it forward. The next time life tests you, don't say, I can't handle this. Instead say, this is tough, but so am I, because you are. You are the proof that resilience is real, that hope can rise from exhaustion, and that every difficulty carries a hidden blessing for those willing to endure. The road may be steep, but the view from the top will remind you that every struggle was worth it. You are capable, you are strong, and no matter how many times life tries to push you down, you will rise. Because that's what people who do hard things do. Chapter 6. Tell yourself, I am responsible for my own happiness. Happiness is not something that arrives from outside you, it's something you create within. Too often, people wait for the right person, the right job, the right moment, or the right achievement to finally feel fulfilled. But true happiness is not found in what happens to you. It's found in how you choose to interpret what happens. Life will never be perfectly aligned with your expectations. People will disappoint you, circumstances will shift, and plans will fall apart. If your peace depends on everything going your way, you'll spend your life chasing stability in an unstable world. Taking responsibility for your own happiness means understanding that you, and only you, have the power to decide how much joy, gratitude, and peace you allow into your daily life. It's realizing that blaming others or circumstances for your unhappiness gives away your power. The moment you start saying, I'll be happy when, you postpone your peace for a future that may never arrive. But when you tell yourself, I choose to be happy now, you reclaim control over your emotions and your destiny. Happiness is a mindset, a practice, a deliberate act of self-awareness. It's waking up and deciding to focus on what's right instead of what's wrong, on what's growing instead of what's missing. You don't need perfect conditions to feel joy. You need a grateful heart that sees beauty even in imperfection. Taking responsibility for your happiness doesn't mean you ignore pain or pretend life is easy. It means you acknowledge your emotions, but don't let them define you. You can feel sadness without surrendering to it. Face hardship without letting it destroy your hope. Every day gives you a choice, to live in complaint or in contentment. When you complain, you reinforce dissatisfaction. When you give thanks, you expand your joy. Happiness thrives in appreciation, it dies in comparison. When you constantly compare your life to others, You forget how far you've come. You forget the small miracles in your own story. Everyone is fighting their own silent battles, and no one's life is as perfect as it appears. True happiness begins when you stop measuring your worth through other people's lives and start celebrating your own journey. Remember, you are not behind. You are on your path, and it's unfolding exactly as it should. Taking ownership of your happiness also means setting boundaries. You cannot be happy if you constantly allow negativity, manipulation, or disrespect into your space. Protect your peace like it's sacred, because it is. Say no when you need to, walk away when necessary, and never apologize for choosing what brings you balance. The more you honor your own needs, the more you cultivate self-respect. And self-respect is the foundation of lasting happiness. You must also forgive, not because others always deserve forgiveness, but because you deserve peace. Carrying resentment is like drinking poison and expecting someone else to suffer. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting what happened. It means refusing to let the past control your present. When you release bitterness, you make room for light. When you forgive, you free yourself. Remember, happiness is not a destination you reach someday. It's a daily decision to see life through the lens of gratitude and growth. There will be storms, but storms don't last forever. The rainbow appears for those who keep walking through the rain. Even in your hardest seasons, there's something to be thankful for. The lesson, the strength, the resilience being formed inside you. You can still smile even when life isn't perfect, because happiness is not the absence of pain, it's the presence of perspective. Start finding joy in small things, a sunrise, a kind word, a deep breath, a moment of silence. Those little moments are not small, they're the seeds of a peaceful life. When you train your mind to see good, you begin to attract more of it. And when you stop waiting for others to make you feel whole, you realize you've been whole all along. You are not broken, you're becoming. You are not missing anything. You are growing into everything you were meant to be. Happiness is the art of loving yourself through all your seasons, of standing tall in your own truth, even when the world doesn't understand. It's knowing that peace doesn't come from controlling everything. It comes from trusting yourself to handle anything. So each morning, remind yourself, I am responsible for my happiness. Because when you take ownership of your emotions, your thoughts, and your choices, you take back your freedom. No one can steal your joy unless you hand it to them. You are the author of your emotional life. Write it with love, gratitude, and courage. The world may not always be kind, but you can choose kindness. Life may not always be fair, but you can choose peace. And every day that you choose joy despite the noise is a victory, proof that happiness has always been yours to create. See Chapter 7. Tell yourself, I am enough, exactly as I am. In a world that constantly tries to convince you that you need to be more successful, more attractive, more popular, more productive, this truth is your anchor. You are enough, not because you have achieved perfection, but because your worth has never depended on achievement at all. From the moment you entered this world, you carried within you the light of value, purpose, and potential. Yet somewhere along the way, life's noise began to drown out that truth. Society taught you to measure yourself through comparisons, to tie your self-worth to what you accomplish, and to seek validation in the eyes of others. But chasing approval is like running toward the horizon. No matter how far you go, it keeps moving. The truth is, no amount of success, praise, or recognition can fill a void that only self-acceptance can heal. When you remind yourself that you are enough, you break free from the exhausting cycle of constantly trying to prove your value. You stop living like a product that needs upgrading and start living like a human who deserves peace. Being enough doesn't mean you're flawless. It means you embrace your flaws with compassion. You understand that your imperfections are not failures. They're features of your authenticity. Every scar tells a story of survival. Every mistake holds a lesson. and every setback has shaped your strength. The world doesn't need a perfect version of you, it needs a real one. You are enough in your laughter and your tears, in your triumphs and your struggles. You are enough when you're full of energy and when you can barely keep going. You are enough on the days you feel confident and on the days you feel lost. Your worth doesn't fluctuate with your productivity, appearance, or popularity. It simply is, constant, unshaken, and whole. When you truly believe that, you begin to treat yourself with gentleness. You stop criticizing every flaw in the mirror, stop apologizing for taking up space, and stop comparing your timeline to someone else's. You learn to celebrate your small wins and forgive your slow progress. You realize that you can love yourself and still want to grow. Self-acceptance is not complacency, it's the soil from which growth truly blooms. When you believe you're enough, you also start attracting healthier relationships. You no longer beg for love, attention, or validation because you understand that your worth isn't up for debate. You become less desperate for approval and more discerning about connection. People who truly see you will never demand you to shrink to fit their comfort. They will honor your boundaries, your truth, and your individuality. And if someone walks away, you'll know it's not because you weren't enough. It's because you were too true to yourself to pretend otherwise. Being enough also means accepting the parts of yourself you've been taught to hide, your sensitivity, your quirks, your fears, your softness. Those are not weaknesses, they are reflections of your humanity. You don't need to be fixed. You just need to be seen and accepted. First by yourself. Healing begins the moment you stop asking, "What's wrong with me?" and start saying, "I am whole, just learning to love myself better." You'll notice that when you stop fighting who you are, life starts to feel lighter. The pressure eases, the noise quiets, you no longer rush to become someone else. You start discovering who you've always been beneath all the layers of doubt and expectation. Remember, you were not created to be a copy of anyone else. Your journey is uniquely yours. Your pace, your story, your rhythm. You are not behind, you're right on time. Every experience, even the painful ones, is shaping the masterpiece of your becoming. So stop looking at your reflection through the lens of what's missing and start seeing what's already there. Resilience, courage, kindness, creativity, and a heart that keeps trying. You are enough, even when you're healing, even when you're learning, even when you're uncertain about the future. You don't have to earn the right to love yourself. You already have it. And when you live from that truth, you begin to radiate a quiet confidence that doesn't need to shout. You become rooted in self-respect, unshaken by opinions, unbothered by comparison. You start showing up authentically, knowing that your presence is valuable just as it is. The most powerful thing you can ever say is, "I am enough." Because when you truly believe it, you stop chasing things that were never meant to define you and start embracing the life that was always meant for you. You begin to create from love instead of fear, to connect from fullness instead of lack, and to live with the deep peace that comes from knowing you are complete. You are enough. Today, tomorrow, always. You were enough before anyone told you otherwise, and you will remain enough no matter what happens next. Chapter 8. Tell yourself, "I am in control of my thoughts and emotions." Every day, your mind becomes the stage upon which your reality is written. Your thoughts are not just passing clouds. They are the architects of your perception, shaping how you see yourself, others, and the world around you. To be in control of your thoughts and emotions does not mean you suppress them or pretend that pain, anger, or fear do not exist. It means you become aware of them, acknowledge them, and then choose how to respond rather than react. Most people live as if they are passengers in their own minds, allowing every fleeting thought and temporary emotion to steer their direction. But when you realize that you are the driver, the conscious force behind your mind, you reclaim your power. You stop being controlled by what happens to you and start being guided by how you interpret what happens. Your mind is a tool, And like any tool, its effectiveness depends on how you use it. When left unchecked, it can become a storm of doubt, worry, and negativity, but when disciplined, it can become a peaceful garden of strength, clarity, and purpose. The first step toward mastering your thoughts is awareness, learning to observe what passes through your mind without judgment. Notice the patterns, the self-doubt that whispers when you fail, the fear that rises when things change, the anger that burns when someone hurts you. These emotions are not your enemies. They are messengers pointing to where healing and growth are needed. When you pause to understand them instead of fighting them, you take away their control. You shift from being reactive to being reflective. Remember, emotions are temporary visitors. They are not your identity. You can feel anxious without being an anxious person. You can feel sad without being broken. You can feel angry without being cruel. Your emotions are valid, but they are not permanent truths. They are waves, and you are the ocean. You have the capacity to let them rise, crest, and fall without drowning in them. Controlling your thoughts and emotions also means being intentional about what you feed your mind. The things you read, the people you spend time with, the content you consume, all of it shapes your mental landscape. If you constantly feed your mind negativity, don't be surprised when you feel hopeless. Protect your mental space like a sacred garden. Plant seeds of gratitude, confidence, and hope. Surround yourself with voices that uplift, not those that drain. Speak kindly to yourself, even when you make mistakes. The language you use internally becomes the reality you live externally. Words have power, especially the ones you say to yourself when no one's listening. When you control your inner dialogue, you transform your outer world. There will be days when your thoughts spiral, when emotions feel too heavy to carry, when silence feels loud with anxiety. In those moments, take a breath and remind yourself, I am not my thoughts. I am not my emotions. I am the observer, the chooser, the creator. You cannot always control what happens outside you, but you can always control how you respond inside. That is your greatest freedom. Life will always bring uncertainty, disappointment, and pain. But how you interpret those experiences determines whether they weaken or strengthen you. When something goes wrong, instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Ask, what is this trying to teach me? That single shift turns suffering into wisdom. It transforms chaos into clarity. Emotional control is not about never feeling upset. It's about not letting your upsetness dictate your actions. It's choosing to pause before reacting, to breathe before speaking, to think before deciding. It's learning that peace is not the absence of emotions but the mastery of them. The more you practice self-awareness, the stronger your emotional intelligence becomes. You start recognizing your triggers, calming your responses, and replacing negative self-talk with empowering truths. When you can stay calm in the midst of confusion, kind in the face of cruelty, and hopeful in times of fear, that's when you truly become powerful. You begin to realize that your mind is not a prison. It's a palace, and you are its ruler. Every time you choose understanding over anger, gratitude over resentment, or patience over panic, you train your mind to serve your highest self. Over time, peace stops being something you chase and becomes something you create. Remember, control does not mean rigidity. It means balance. Allow yourself to feel deeply but not destructively, to think critically but not pessimistically. You can have emotions without being consumed by them. You can have thoughts without believing all of them. You can choose clarity over chaos, love over fear, purpose over impulse. So tell yourself every morning, my mind is my ally, not my enemy. My emotions are my teachers, not my masters. And watch as your life begins to reflect that power. Because the truth is, once you learn to control your inner world, nothing in the outer world can ever control you again. Sheta 9. Tell yourself, I am grateful for what I have. Gratitude is not just an emotion, it's a way of seeing the world, a lens that transforms ordinary moments into blessings and challenges into lessons. When you begin to live with a grateful heart, You shift your focus from what is missing to what is present, from what you lack to what you have, and from what you want to what truly matters. In a world where everything moves fast and where comparison constantly whispers that you need more to be happy, gratitude grounds you. It reminds you that enough exists right here, right now. Gratitude is not about ignoring pain or pretending that life is perfect. It's about recognizing that even in the midst of difficulty, there are still reasons to smile, breathe, and hope. The truth is, happiness doesn't come from getting everything you desire. It comes from appreciating everything you already have. When you start your day by acknowledging even the smallest blessings, the warmth of sunlight, the sound of laughter, the comfort of a meal, the presence of loved ones, the strength to rise again, your energy changes. You become lighter, calmer, and more open to joy. Gratitude turns routine into ritual and chaos into clarity. It teaches you to find beauty in simplicity, in the quiet moments that often go unnoticed. When you practice gratitude daily, you begin to understand that life doesn't owe you anything. Instead, it offers you everything if you're willing to see it. You stop chasing fulfillment in possessions, status, or validation and start discovering it in connection, peace, and purpose. Every time you say, "Thank you," whether silently or aloud, you affirm that your life is abundant, no matter its imperfections. Gratitude also changes how you handle adversity. When things go wrong, instead of drowning in frustration, gratitude reminds you that every struggle carries a hidden gift. The obstacle you face today might be shaping your strength for tomorrow. The disappointment you feel might be redirecting you towards something greater. Gratitude helps you see that even endings can be beginnings in disguise. It doesn't erase pain, but it gives pain meaning. It doesn't deny hardship, but it gives you the courage to endure it with grace. When you are grateful, your focus shifts from resentment to resilience. You realize that peace doesn't come from controlling everything. It comes from appreciating what remains even when things fall apart. You stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start saying, "What can I learn from this?" That single question transforms your mindset from victimhood to empowerment. Gratitude also strengthens your relationships. When you appreciate people instead of taking them for granted, you create a deeper sense of connection and trust. A simple "thank you" can heal wounds, restore hope, and remind someone that they matter. When you express gratitude toward others, you multiply it within yourself. Love grows where appreciation flows. Gratitude doesn't just change your heart, it changes your brain. Studies have shown that people who practice daily gratitude experience less anxiety, better sleep, and higher levels of optimism. But beyond science, gratitude is spiritual. It connects you to something greater than yourself. It reminds you that life is a gift, that every breath is borrowed time, and that every sunrise is another chance to love, learn, and live. When you cultivate gratitude, you begin to notice the miracles you were once overlooked. You start realizing that joy is not found in grand moments, but in the small ones that make up your life. The way someone smiles at you, the sound of rain on your window, the stillness of a quiet morning. Those moments, when noticed, become sacred. Gratitude slows you down in a world that rushes past its own blessings. It invites you to pause, reflect, and breathe in the present moment, because the present is all you truly have, and gratitude turns it into enough. Being grateful doesn't mean settling or giving up on your goals. It means striving from a place of wholeness, not lack. It means saying, "I am thankful for what I have while I work for what I want." That is balance. Contentment and ambition existing side by side. Gratitude makes success sweeter because you're already fulfilled before it arrives. You stop living in constant if-onlys and start living in the now. The more grateful you are, the more life gives you to be grateful for, because gratitude shifts your energy toward abundance. What you focus on expands, and when you focus on appreciation, you attract more of it. So tell yourself every morning, "I am grateful for what I have, my breath, my body, my mind, my journey." Even if life isn't perfect, there's still light. Even if things are uncertain, there's still hope. Gratitude doesn't change your circumstances. It changes you. It strengthens your heart, calms your mind, and opens your eyes to the quiet miracles that surround you each day. And when you live with gratitude, you stop waiting for happiness to arrive and start realizing it has been with you all along, resting gently in the simple, beautiful truth of the present moment. Shiat 10. Tell yourself, I am becoming a better version of myself every day. Growth is not always loud or visible. Sometimes it happens in silence, in the small choices you make when no one is watching, in the moments you decide to try again after failing, and in the times you choose patience over frustration. Becoming a better version of yourself is not about comparing who you are to anyone else. It's about comparing who you are today to who you were yesterday. Life is a journey of continual evolution, a series of lessons that shape you, break you, and build you back stronger. Every experience, no matter how painful or joyful, carries wisdom that helps you grow into the person you were meant to become. The process of becoming better begins with awareness. The courage to look at yourself honestly, to acknowledge both your strengths and your weaknesses without judgment. When you become aware of your patterns, your habits, and your mindset, you gain the power to change them. You stop living on autopilot and start living with intention. Growth demands honesty, and honesty is not always comfortable. It means admitting when you're wrong, recognizing when fear is holding you back, and understanding that real transformation doesn't happen overnight. It's a slow process, one that requires consistency, patience, and faith in yourself. Some days you'll move forward, and other days you'll stumble, but both are part of the journey. Becoming better does not mean being perfect. It means being willing to learn, to evolve, and to keep showing up even when it's hard. Every challenge you face is an invitation to rise above who you were yesterday. Every time life tests your limits, it's giving you a chance to expand them. Sometimes growth looks like letting go of toxic relationships, self-doubt, old habits, or limiting beliefs that no longer serve the person you're becoming. It's not easy to release what's familiar, but the old version of you cannot take the next step. You have to shed old layers to step into your next level. Becoming better also means practicing forgiveness. Forgiving others, yes, but more importantly, forgiving yourself. You cannot move forward if you're constantly dragging the weight of past mistakes behind you. You did the best you could with the understanding you had at that time. Growth means giving yourself grace and using yesterday's lessons to make wiser choices today. You don't have to have everything figured out to be improving. Sometimes, progress simply means refusing to quit. The person you are becoming is being built in moments of persistence. In the times you keep going even when progress feels invisible. Trust that change is happening even when you can't see it. The flower doesn't bloom the day it's planted, and neither do you. Keep watering your efforts with patience, discipline, and faith. Every day that you choose kindness over anger, courage over fear, effort over comfort, and love over judgment, you are evolving. Becoming better is not just about achieving goals. It's about aligning your actions with your values. It's about becoming someone who is more compassionate, more mindful, more resilient, and more authentic. Growth is not linear. It's filled with highs and lows, with breakthroughs and setbacks. But even on the days you feel like you've gone backward, you're still learning. Every fall teaches humility, every failure builds resilience, and every challenge reveals new strength. The key is to never stop learning. Life will continue to test you, not to punish you, but to prepare you for the next version of yourself. Embrace change, for change is the birthplace of growth. Remember that even when nothing seems to be happening, transformation is unfolding within you. The small habits you practice, reading, reflecting, exercising, being kind, expressing gratitude, are shaping your future self. You may not notice it day by day, but one day you'll look back and realize how far you've come. Becoming better also means taking care of your inner world. your thoughts, emotions, and spirit. When you cultivate peace within, it reflects in how you treat others and how you respond to life's challenges. You begin to live with intention rather than reaction, with compassion rather than judgment. You start creating instead of complaining, loving instead of resenting, and forgiving instead of blaming. That is true growth, not in what you gain, but in who you become. So remind yourself every morning, I am becoming a better version of myself every day. Even when you make mistakes, even when you feel lost, even when you don't see results, keep going. The journey of self-improvement is not about reaching a final destination, it's about evolving continuously, embracing your humanity and becoming more of who you truly are. Celebrate your progress, no matter how small, because every step counts. You are not the same person you were a year ago, a month ago, or even yesterday, and that is proof of your growth. The best version of you is not somewhere in the future waiting to be found. It's unfolding right now, with every choice you make and every lesson you learn. Keep becoming, because your journey itself is the masterpiece. Chapter 11. Tell yourself, I am proud of how far I have come. Life moves so fast that we often forget to pause and appreciate our own journey. We chase the next goal, the next milestone, the next version of success, without realizing that the very person we've become today is someone our past self once dreamed of being. You may not be exactly where you want to be, but you're also not where you used to be, and that's worth celebrating. Every scar, every lesson, every obstacle you've overcome has shaped the person you are right now. It's easy to focus on how far you still have to go, but true wisdom lies in recognizing how far you've already come. You've faced moments that could have broken you, yet you kept going. You've walked through days of doubt, nights of tears, and seasons of silence, and still, you found the strength to rise again. You've grown through things you once thought would destroy you. That resilience, that quiet courage, that persistence, those are victories, even if no one else sees them. Being proud of yourself doesn't mean you're finished growing, it means you're acknowledging the effort it took to get here. Too often, people downplay their progress because it doesn't look dramatic enough, but growth is not always loud. Sometimes it's found in small decisions, choosing to get out of bed when it's hard, choosing kindness when it's easier to be cold, choosing faith when fear feels louder. Every little act of strength you've shown along the way has mattered. You deserve to be proud of yourself for surviving what you thought you couldn't. Think about the version of you from years ago, the one who was unsure, afraid, or lost. That version of you fought battles you no longer have to fight. That version learned lessons that became your wisdom. You owe it to yourself to pause and say, I did it. I'm still here. I'm still trying. Pride in yourself is not arrogance, it's self-respect. It's looking at your journey with gratitude instead of criticism. You may have stumbled, failed, or made mistakes, but those moments didn't define you, they refined you. They taught you resilience, humility, and patience. You have grown through pain, through waiting, through uncertainty, and you are still becoming. That deserves recognition. Being proud also means releasing the habit of constant comparison. Your path is uniquely yours. You cannot measure your worth against someone else's timeline because your journey was never meant to look like theirs. You have faced your own storms, carried your own burdens, and built your own strength. Your progress may not look perfect, but it is real and it is yours. Even when no one applauded you, you kept going. Even when no one noticed your effort, you continued to show up. That kind of quiet perseverance is something to be deeply proud of. Be proud of your healing, of the way you learned to let go of things that no longer served you, of how you learned to forgive and move forward. Be proud of your growth, of how you've become more patient, more understanding, more aware of your power. Be proud of your boundaries, of the times you chose peace over pleasing others, and self-respect over acceptance. Be proud of your persistence, of how you kept going even when progress felt invisible. You may not have all the answers, but you have gained wisdom from every step. Sometimes, we wait for others to validate our progress, but you don't need applause to prove your worth. You can celebrate yourself in quiet ways, through gratitude, through reflection, through acknowledging that you've come through things that once scared you. Look at yourself not through the eyes of who you think you should be, but through the eyes of who you've become. There's a strength there, a resilience that no one can take from you. You've earned every bit of that. You've learned to stand after falling, to hope after heartbreak, to believe after disappointment. Every time you refused to give up, you grew stronger. Every time you chose to keep going, you built your foundation. Life is not just about the finish line, it's about the steps along the way. You may not realize it, but someone out there is inspired by your journey, by your ability to keep moving forward despite everything. Your progress is proof that healing is possible, that change is real, and that strength can be built one small step at a time. So take a deep breath, look at how far you've come, and let yourself feel proud. You've earned this moment. You are not the same person you were a year ago. You are wiser, softer, stronger, and more self-aware. You've learned lessons only experience could teach, and you've gained clarity only time could bring. You are still growing, still learning, still becoming, and that's something to honor. So today, don't rush toward the next thing. Stand still, even for a moment, and acknowledge your journey. You've done things you once thought you couldn't. You've handled pain you thought would break you. You've kept going when it would have been easier to stop. Be proud, not because you've reached perfection, but because you've chosen progress over and over again. You are living proof of resilience, and that in itself is something extraordinary. Saktar 12, tell yourself, I am becoming the person I'm meant to be. Every single day, life is shaping you, molding you through lessons, challenges, and moments of clarity that guide you closer to your purpose. You are not the same person you were a year ago, a month ago, or even yesterday. You are constantly evolving, growing, and awakening to a deeper version of yourself. And while that process may sometimes feel uncertain, painful, or slow, it is still progress. Becoming who you are meant to be is not a destination. It's a lifelong journey of learning, unlearning, and rebuilding. There will be seasons of confusion when nothing makes sense, when you question your worth and wonder if you're on the right path. But even those moments are part of your becoming. Every detour, every setback, every disappointment carries a hidden lesson that pushes you closer to your true self. Life is not about perfection. It's about transformation. You are being refined by experiences that strengthen your mind, soften your heart, and expand your wisdom. Growth is rarely comfortable. It often feels like breaking before becoming. You might lose people, habits, or parts of yourself that no longer fit this new chapter. But that's not a loss, it's renewal. You are shedding what no longer serves you so that you can rise into what does. The pain you've felt, the mistakes you've made, the fears you've faced, all of them are shaping your character, helping you grow into someone more grounded, resilient, and wise. Don't rush your evolution. You are not behind, you are becoming. Trust that every chapter of your life is necessary. The heartbreaks taught you compassion. The rejections taught you patience. The failures taught you humility. The silence taught you peace. Every experience, good or bad, is preparing you for what's ahead. Becoming who you're meant to be also means releasing the version of yourself that lives for others' approval. It's about standing firm in your truth, even when it's misunderstood. It's about realizing that your worth isn't tied to what you achieve, but to who you are. You are allowed to change your mind, to grow differently, to dream bigger, to start again. You don't have to stay the same just because others are comfortable with who you used to be. Transformation demands courage, the courage to face yourself honestly, to confront your fears, and to step into the unknown with faith. It's not always easy, but it's always worth it. Each time you choose growth over comfort, You become more aligned with your purpose. You start noticing your strength, your voice, your inner power. You stop chasing validation and start creating your own peace. You begin to see that you don't need to have everything figured out to make progress. Becoming is about showing up, imperfectly, courageously, and consistently, even when you don't yet see the results. It's about trusting the process and believing that everything you go through has meaning, even if you can't see it yet. Every season of waiting, every season of uncertainty is shaping you in ways that will make sense one day. You are learning patience, resilience, and faith. You are learning how to build yourself again after breaking. You are learning how to stand strong in your own energy, how to walk with peace even when life feels uncertain. You are becoming someone who doesn't just survive, but thrives despite it all. You are becoming someone who can turn pain into wisdom, chaos into clarity, and fear into courage. And while it's easy to doubt your progress, remember that growth doesn't always announce itself loudly. Sometimes it looks like handling situations with more calm, setting boundaries you once avoided, or simply being kinder to yourself. These quiet shifts are the signs that you are transforming. Becoming is not about becoming perfect. It's about becoming real. It's about returning to yourself, peeling away the layers of fear, expectation, and self-doubt until what remains is truth. And that truth is powerful. You are not who you used to be, and that's something to celebrate. You've healed from things you thought you'd never recover from. You've learned lessons that now guide you with wisdom. You've faced storms that once terrified you, and you've come out stronger. Every step, every struggle, every moment of courage, they've all been shaping you. So remind yourself daily, I am becoming the person I'm meant to be. I am walking toward the life that aligns with my purpose. I am learning to trust myself, to believe in myself, to love myself through every stage of growth. There's beauty in this unfolding, even in the uncertainty, even in the waiting, even in the rebuilding. You don't have to rush, you just have to keep moving. The person you are becoming is built from every moment you refused to give up, from every lesson you embraced, from every truth you've uncovered. You are growing into someone wiser, softer, braver, someone who no longer needs validation to know their worth. You are becoming someone at peace with where you are and excited about where you're going. So take a deep breath, release the need to have it all figured out, and trust your becoming. Every day you wake up and choose to keep going, you're stepping closer to the person you were always meant to be. Shema 13. Tell yourself, I am in control of my thoughts and emotions. Every single day, life presents you with moments that test your patience, your peace, and your perception. You can't control everything that happens around you, but you can control how you choose to respond. That's where your true power lies, not in trying to change the world outside, but in mastering the world within. Your thoughts are the seeds of your reality. What you think consistently, you begin to believe, and what you believe, you begin to live. If you allow negativity, fear, and doubt to take root, they will grow and shape your world with limitation and chaos. But when you choose thoughts of strength, gratitude, and calm, you begin to see life from a higher perspective. You begin to realize that peace is not found in the absence of problems, but in your ability to remain steady through them. Being in control of your emotions doesn't mean you never feel anger, sadness, or frustration. It means you don't let those emotions control you. You acknowledge them, understand their message, and let them pass without letting them define your day or your identity. The moment you decide that no situation has the power to steal your peace, you become unstoppable. Life will test you. People will disappoint you, plans will fail, and circumstances will shift, but your response determines your outcome. You have the ability to pause before reacting, to breathe before speaking, to choose wisdom over impulse. Every time you do that, you're taking back your power. You're reminding yourself that your emotions serve you, not the other way around. The world around you might be loud, unpredictable, and full of pressure, but inside you there can be stillness, a calm center where peace lives. To reach that place, you must practice awareness. Awareness is the first step to control. When you notice your thoughts, you create space between what happens and how you react. That space gives you freedom, freedom to choose understanding over judgment, compassion over anger, clarity over confusion. You begin to see that your emotions are signals, not sentences. They tell you what needs attention, but they don't dictate your worth or your future. Being in control of your mind also means taking responsibility for your mental environment. What you feed your mind matters. The content you consume, the people you surround yourself with, the words you repeat to yourself. All of these shape your inner world. If you constantly expose yourself to negativity, you will feel drained and restless. But if you nurture your mind with empowering ideas, gratitude, and self-reflection, your emotional state will begin to transform. You cannot stop the waves, but you can learn to surf. You cannot stop thoughts from entering your mind, but you can decide which ones deserve your attention. You can let go of what you cannot control and focus on what you can, your mindset, your energy, your effort. And with time, you'll notice that situations that once triggered you no longer have the same hold over you. That's growth. That's mastery. It's the art of inner calm. The mind can be your greatest enemy or your strongest ally. If you let fear, doubt, or anger run wild, they will distort your vision and drain your spirit. But when you train your mind to stay centered and calm, even in chaos, you become unshakable. You start to notice the difference between reacting and responding, between being pulled by emotions and guiding them with intention. It's not about suppression, it's about direction. You can feel deeply and still think clearly. You can care passionately and still act with wisdom. That is true control. Not cold detachment, but conscious awareness. When you tell yourself that you are in control of your thoughts and emotions, you're not claiming perfection, you're declaring intention. You're setting the standard for how you want to show up in life. You're reminding yourself that peace is a choice, not a coincidence. Each morning, you can decide what kind of energy you want to carry into the world. You can set boundaries that protect your peace. You can shift your focus from problems to possibilities, and you can choose gratitude over resentment. These choices build emotional strength. They teach you that you don't have to be a prisoner of your past or your circumstances. You are the observer, the thinker, the creator. You are not your anger, your fear, or your sadness. You are the awareness behind them. You can watch them rise and fall without losing yourself in them. That is power. That is freedom. As you grow more conscious of your inner dialogue, you begin to rewrite it. You stop saying, "This always happens to me," and start saying, "This is happening for me." You stop seeing challenges as punishments and start seeing them as opportunities to strengthen your inner calm. Every moment becomes a chance to practice mastery, to breathe through frustration, to pause before reacting, to return to peace when life tries to pull you off balance. Over time, this awareness becomes second nature. You begin to live from a place of steady confidence and quiet power. You become less reactive and more reflective, less shaken and more grounded. The storms will still come, but you'll stand taller through them. So, remind yourself every day, I am in control of my thoughts and emotions. I decide how I respond. I choose peace even when chaos surrounds me. I choose calm even when anger tempts me. I choose faith even when fear whispers, and with that choice I reclaim my power, the power to create a peaceful mind, a balanced heart, and a life led not by reaction, but by intention. 14. Tell yourself, I attract positive energy and opportunities into my life. The energy you put into the world is the same energy that finds its way back to you, and every thought, word, and action becomes a magnet for the experiences that follow. When you begin your day with a mindset of openness, gratitude, and possibility, you naturally invite abundance to flow toward you. It's not magic, it's the power of alignment, of focusing your energy on what you want to grow rather than what you fear. Too often, people dwell on what's missing, what's gone wrong, or what could go wrong, not realizing that this focus only multiplies negativity. But when you shift your perspective and start believing that good things are meant for you, the entire vibration of your life begins to change. You start noticing small blessings, coincidences, and chances that you might have overlooked before. You begin to move with confidence instead of doubt, hope instead of hesitation. Positive energy is not something you wait for. It's something you create and carry within you. It begins with your inner dialogue, the way you speak to yourself, and the beliefs you nurture. When you tell yourself that you are capable, worthy, and open to growth, you send a signal to the universe that you are ready to receive. Opportunities respond to readiness. Life doesn't reward doubt, it rewards belief, faith, and consistent effort. When you radiate positivity, you not only attract opportunities, but also people who match your frequency, people who uplift, inspire, and help you grow. You'll notice that toxic situations start fading away as you begin to vibrate at a higher level. Negativity loses its power because you no longer entertain it. Every morning, before stepping into the world, remind yourself that you are a magnet for peace, growth, and abundance. Feel the energy of gratitude for everything you already have: your breath, your body, your lessons, your journey. Gratitude opens the door for more blessings because it trains your mind to focus on presence instead of lack. Even when life feels challenging, even when outcomes are uncertain, gratitude reminds you that there's still beauty in the process. Positive energy is not about ignoring the negative, it's about transforming it. It's about finding meaning in struggle, lessons in failure, and strength in pain. When you start seeing challenges as opportunities for growth rather than setbacks, you create momentum. The universe mirrors your mindset. If you believe you're capable of rising, life will give you chances to prove it. But if you believe you're doomed to fail, you'll keep seeing reasons to validate that fear. The law of attraction is not just a concept, it's a reflection of your daily habits. What you think about, you bring about. Every thought carries energy, and that energy shapes your reality. So, fill your mind with thoughts that empower you. Focus on what you want to experience, not on what you wish to avoid. When you catch yourself thinking negatively, pause, breathe, and redirect your focus towards something hopeful. Tell yourself, something good is coming. I may not see it yet, but I can feel it unfolding. That belief alone can shift your vibration. The more you trust the process, the more opportunities begin to align with your path. Sometimes, opportunities come disguised as challenges. Sometimes they arrive through people, books, or unexpected events. Be open to receive them. The universe speaks in whispers, through intuition, through gut feelings, through moments that just feel right. When your energy is positive and grounded, you hear those whispers clearly. You begin to trust your timing instead of rushing. You begin to flow with life instead of fighting it. Attracting positive energy also means protecting your space. You can't receive good things if your environment is filled with negativity, gossip, or self-doubt. Set boundaries that preserve your peace. Spend time with people who inspire you, not those who drain you. Nourish your mind with uplifting content, your body with healthy movement, and your spirit with stillness. Remember, you attract what you are, not what you wish for. So become the energy you seek. Be the calm you desire, the kindness you crave, the light you want to see in the world. The more love, compassion, and authenticity you radiate, the more life reflects that energy back to you. Opportunities will begin to find you effortlessly because you are aligned with purpose and peace. Trust that every experience, even the hard ones, is guiding you towards something greater. You are not unlucky, you are in preparation. You are being shaped to handle the blessings you've been asking for. Sometimes the delay is not denial, it's development. The more you grow into your best self, the more life opens its arms to meet you. So, walk through your days knowing that positive energy surrounds you, flows through you, and works for you. Expect good things, not because you are entitled, but because you are aligned. Expect growth, love, abundance, and peace to enter your life. Speak words of faith, act with confidence, and carry gratitude like armor. When your heart is open and your thoughts are clear, life responds with grace. You become a light, a force that draws beauty, purpose, and prosperity into your world. Every sunrise becomes a promise that something good is on its way. So tell yourself again and again, until you feel it deep within your soul, I attract positive energy and opportunities into my life. I am ready, I am worthy, and I am open to receive all the blessings that are meant for me. Chapter 15. Tell yourself, I am grateful for this moment and everything it's teaching me. Gratitude is the foundation of peace, the quiet force that transforms ordinary moments into blessings and turns challenges into lessons. When you live with gratitude, you stop chasing happiness and start seeing that it's already here, in the small details of life, in your breath, in the warmth of sunlight, in the simple act of being alive. Gratitude grounds you in the present, reminding you that life doesn't happen in the past or future, but right now, in this very moment. The mind loves to dwell on what's missing, what went wrong, or what could be better. But the heart, when filled with gratitude, learns to see what's right, what's beautiful, and what's enough. You may not have everything you want, but you have everything you need to begin again, to grow, to keep going. Every difficulty carries a hidden gift. Every delay hides a divine lesson. When you choose to see life through the lens of gratitude, even pain becomes a teacher, even uncertainty becomes a doorway to growth. Gratitude doesn't erase hardship. It gives it meaning. It shifts your focus from complaint to appreciation, from lack to abundance. The truth is, what you focus on expands. If you focus on problems, they multiply. But when you focus on blessings, they grow too, because gratitude opens your eyes to see more good. It doesn't matter how big or small your blessings are. What matters is that you notice them. Gratitude is not reserved for when everything is perfect. It's most powerful when things aren't. It's easy to be thankful when life goes your way, but the real strength of gratitude shines when you can still say, thank you, in the middle of uncertainty. Thank you for the lessons that taught me patience. Thank you for the failures that built my character. Thank you for the endings that created space for new beginnings. Gratitude reminds you that even when life feels heavy, there's still light to hold on to. It's not about ignoring your pain. It's about remembering that there's still something worth living for. When you start your day with gratitude, your perspective changes. Suddenly, the world feels softer, people seem kinder, and problems appear smaller. You start to notice miracles hidden in routine. The way a stranger smiles, the way music calms your heart, the way time heals wounds you thought would last forever. Gratitude doesn't just make you happier, it makes you present. It quiets the noise of what if and replaces it with what is. It teaches you to breathe deeply and appreciate that this moment, no matter how imperfect, is part of your journey. When you say, I am grateful for this moment and everything it's teaching me, you are affirming that life is working for you, not against you. You begin to trust that every experience, even the uncomfortable ones, are guiding you toward who you're meant to become. Gratitude turns waiting into faith and loss into wisdom. It helps you let go of resistance and flow with life instead of fighting it. The more you practice it, the more natural it becomes. You start to see that even simple things, clean water, a safe space, a kind word, are blessings millions of people pray for. You realize that abundance isn't just about wealth, it's about awareness. The richest people are not those who have the most, but those who appreciate the most. Gratitude is a magnet for miracles because it aligns your energy with abundance. When you give thanks for what you already have, you open the door for more to come. The universe responds to appreciation with expansion. The more thankful you are, the more reasons you'll find to be thankful. Gratitude is also the bridge between pain and healing. When you begin to thank life for the lessons hidden inside your hardships, You take back your power. You stop being a victim of circumstances and start being a student of experience. You realize that every setback was preparing you for something greater, that every closed door protected you from what wasn't meant for you. Gratitude softens your heart and strengthens your spirit. It replaces bitterness with peace and resentment with understanding. It teaches you forgiveness, not because others always deserve it, but because you deserve to be free. A grateful heart cannot hold anger and joy at the same time. One always pushes out the other. So, choose gratitude again and again until it becomes your way of living. Let it color your thoughts, your words, and your actions. Express it often, not just in words but in presence, by truly seeing people, by appreciating time, by valuing moments. When you look back on your life, it won't be the things you had that matter most, but the gratitude you felt for the journey itself. Even now, as you breathe and read these words, there are countless reasons to be thankful. You've survived things that once felt impossible. You've learned lessons that made you wiser. You've grown through seasons of pain and still managed to smile. That's something extraordinary. Gratitude is not just a feeling. It's a way of seeing, a way of living. So remind yourself daily, I am grateful for this moment and everything it's teaching me. I am thankful for what I have, for what I've lost, and for what's still coming. I may not understand every part of my journey, but I trust that every part has purpose. With a grateful heart, I attract peace, love, and abundance into my life. Not